When the hell did this start recording? What the fuck? I was like messing with my hair and stuff. Alright, I guess it started recording. Well, hey, nerds. Yeah, I'm wearing a Bakugo shirt because I was not ready to start this, but whatever. I don't know what made it start. Hey, you know what was really effed up actually the other day? I was gonna start a video inside my house. I thought it'd be funny to like start a video inside the house and like walk outside with it, and I had to go to the bathroom, so I was like, all right, I'm just about ready to do this. Put my phone down, go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and then we'll start this thing. And then I found out that my phone had already started while it was sitting on the countertop. Apparently, the sound of my pee hitting the toilet bowl activated my camera. So apparently, my phone's a pervert. The sound of me peeing literally turned it on. So I didn't get to record that video, but now you know about that. We're gonna talk about anime today because I feel like it. I love anime, actually. Ogami hates it, which is really funny because his name is Ogami, and he got the name from like Wolf and Cub, you know, a very famous manga. So I think it's pretty funny that like he's actually like this really huge closet weeb, but he won't ever admit it because he's trying to act like he's all into Americana and all this stuff. But no, one day I'm gonna get him to start watching anime, and he'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe I mocked the truly superior art form." And maybe at the same time he'll also realize that Bastock is the superior nation. Hold on, I think. Hold on. Look, I told you I wasn't ready. Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't know why this thing started recording, but I'm just gonna go because I'm tired of re-recording. I'm tired of getting ready to record and then not actually doing it. So we're just going from here. I got into anime because a comic book guy started showing me fan subs when I was like, 14, something like that. This is why I wasn't ready. I was waiting to clear my throat. I just took a fat rip of some weed. Oh, this is morbid and deranged. So we should probably keep this one, right? Like the first animes I ever saw was Rurouni Kenshin, Flame of Recca, Cardcaptor Sakura, and what was really serendipitous is the day that I bought Magic Knight Rayearth on the Sega Saturn, I went over to the comic book place, and that was when he also showed me, on this same day, that he showed me all these other animes, Magic Knight Rayearth. And I'm like, what? So there's a Magic Knight Rayearth video game and an anime, huh? Okay, what is this anime? Let me get into this. Oh, it's actually the best thing ever. Kind of like how Bastock is the best nation ever. But, Ogami will learn that one day as well, eventually, I'm sure. But I was, like, hooked, like, immediately. Like, especially Flame of Recca. Oh, man, what a work of art. One of my wife and I's favorites, and actually one of the first animes that we saw was Flame of Recca. When, we were pretty formative teenage years, states apart from each other, but it's kind of, when I was getting into anime, so was she, and we're not talking just about, like, watching, Sailor Moon and Ronin Warriors and Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network. We're talking about getting, like, the fan subs, everything, most of the stuff that's probably never going to come out here, and then a lot of stuff that eventually did come out here. And can I just say about the whole sub versus dub thing? I like both. It depends on, I don't know, if the voice actor's good or not. I don't have an opinion or a preference one way or another. I'll listen to both. Like, if an anime is really good and I want to watch it again, and I've already seen it in Japanese, well, I'm going to watch it again. I might as well listen to the dub and see if it's any good or not. And there's a couple dubs that I really like, honestly, and, to the point that I prefer them over the Japanese originals. So, I'm not like this ultra, like, Japan-only, weeb-obsessed mega purist. I'm just kind of a mid-weeb, okay? Like, I love Japan. I love the Japanese people. I love anime. I love Japanese food. I love Japanese art. I love Japanese craftsmanship. I love Japanese societal principles and ideals. I really do love Japan. but they don't do everything right. I'm actually very critical of a lot of things in their society that I think they could do better. Because I love them, and I'm not blindly obsessed with everything they do is correct and say that everything they do is faultless. But I do love Japan quite a lot. And it just so happens that, lots of stuff happened. Check this out. On Final Fantasy XI, I meet this guy, TWC Blaze, who I always call Twick Blaze, or Twix Blaze sometimes, like the candy bar Twix. You swinging your Twix bar around again, buddy? James is like one of my brothers, dude. I I have I can count the number of people that I consider brothers on one hand, and that includes my like actual brother from the actual physical same mother. But I've got a couple others that were, you know what I'm saying? Like we were born very separately, slightly different times, but you my brother. James is one of my brothers. There's not many people that I can say that I walked around my neighborhood when I had to patrol it because I live in a crime desert, and this is a while ago when I could actually do that. And I'm walking around a couple miles, probably about 15 plus miles a night, just walking around for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, and him and I are just talking on the phone about Final Fantasy 11 and life and philosophy and science and economics and stuff, and we just anything, man. We talk about anything. Didn't really matter. Not a lot of people I could say I did that with, but his wife that he ends up getting married to, she's one of the people that runs freaking Anime Expo. And one day she hits up me and my wife with honestly an amazing opportunity. She's like, I need some people to fill hospitaler, or was it concierge or whatever. You're gonna be escorting VIPs around Anime Expo. And she kind of, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hinted at us that, by the way, the voice actor for Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Mercury are gonna be there, and maybe you might end up being the ones to escort them around Anime Expo. And like in my mind, I'm starting to think about it as just like a fun group date type of thing in my mind. But then, it occurs to me that if we do this, then my wife and I are probably going to be separated. I'm going to have my own VIP. She's going to have her own VIP. And it's like, nah, there's that. And if I'm going to be at Anime Expo, I want to go to Anime Expo. I don't want to just be at Anime Expo. And here's a plane that has to fly over my head. You can F off, buddy. I don't like you. It's another reason I wasn't ready to record yet. I wasn't ready for the planes and helicopters to be done flying overhead, but whatever. Sorry, I'm still sick. That's why I'm in a tent smoking cigarettes. It's very smart, right? But James's wife, because she's just absolutely awesome, she says like, well, I can just give you 2 free passes to Anime Expo. So we end up being able to go for free, not having to pay for the passes that were already sold out anyway. So even if we wanted to go at that point, there was no option to do so. And all I really care about is July 4th. There's lots of other cool stuff we want to do. We went to the Danganronpa V3 panel. Oh, that was awesome as well. There was a guy there dressed as Kokichi who actually asked the English voice actor for Kibo, do you have a robot penis? Like, meta joke. If you know, you know. But that dude's he wasn't just cosplaying as Kokichi. Like, he was like character acting as Kokichi, and he came to the Danganronpa V3 panel to troll Kibo. Just incredible, dude. It was so fun. I could not believe someone actually did that. But it was going to be in that same that same theater room in the annex the next day, where the Dragon Ball Super screening was going to happen. And Ryo Horikawa was going to be there, the Japanese voice actor for Vegeta. And then I had a mild regret in my mind at that point, because then I thought to myself, first of all, why didn't you tell me if Vegeta was going to be here? Because I might have taken the VIP escort thing. I might have foregone going to Anime Expo if I would have known that there was even a 1% chance that you might get drawn from the escort lottery to guide Ryo Horikawa around Anime Expo and take him out to get sushi. I might have foregone Anime Expo if I had known that there may have been a possibility of that happening. But for all I know, he has his own retinue of people that he has to escort him around, and he doesn't. Vegeta probably doesn't need like the free attorney. You know what I mean? So maybe that wasn't even a possibility, but I don't know. But we're gonna get to see a brand new episode of Dragon Ball Super before it even airs in Japan, and Vegeta's gonna be in the room watching it. Heck yeah! So we get in line at 1:30. And the screening is at 4 o'clock. And the line already has like 400 people in it. And there's only 400 seats inside. But the enforcers are all telling us, like, the fire marshal is actually on his way. He's going to be counting people individually as they go in. And by the time 4 o'clock rolls around, it's like, we got 620 people in here. Fire marshal will not allow us to have any more people in that room. There's one dude yet to go in. And then me and my wife right behind him. And this was particularly catastrophic for me, because this was going to be like the big thing for the day. This is on the 4th of July, man. I was going to have like us going to see the Dragon Ball Super screening be the kickstart of the main part of the date night type of deal. Like, we're going to go start, instead of a movie, we're going to go watch Dragon Ball Super with Vegeta, and then we're going to go out for dinner, and then we're going to go hang out in a park for a little bit, and watch some fireworks, and then we're going to go back to the hotel room, and then I'm going to propose to you. Like, that was the plan. And now here we were stuck outside the annex, leaning up against the brick walls, and just... Well, I actually don't know what else is happening today, because I planned our date day around doing this, and we just waited in line since 1:30 to be stuck here doing nothing. So it was very upsetting. But then we decided, you know what, sorry, I have allergies right now. I put my tent under a pollen tree and I'm sick. Everything here was a bad idea. We decided, let's just go inside anyway. And I am so glad that we did, because that was, instead of sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves, and you know what I mean, instead of just waiting for something good to happen after something bad happened, sometimes you need to just put in a little bit of effort. Maybe you need to just take a few steps forward and see what's going to happen. And in our case, we decided to go into the annex anyway, and we're just standing there in the hall, looking inside these giant glass barn doors into the screening room. And up there on the dais with a microphone in front of him, there's Vegeta. There's Ryo Horikawa. And he's talking into this room full of people whose faces are barely illuminated by very, very faint purple lights. And as he is looking into this room full of faintly lit faces, he stops mid-sentence and turns his head completely toward me and my wife in the hallway. And then he, as I'm sure he has seen many an adoring fan gazing at him longingly from afar, he just smiled and waved at us. That was better than going in there and seeing it. That was better than being in the room. Because at that point, he acknowledged us. Senpai noticed us. He couldn't acknowledge or notice anyone inside that room whose faces could even barely be seen. But out there in the brightly lit hall, he was able to very clearly see me and my wife. I was wearing my Kame House Goku shirt, and she was wearing her Vegeta Super Saiyan shirt. And we were just holding hands, staring at him, probably with a that kind of just gawking, baffled, astonished look on our faces of like, because I don't get starstruck. I'm not that way. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know what Ryo Horikawa looked like until like a month before that. I'd never seen a picture of him. I just knew he was the voice of Vegeta. So when I was right there, I mean, it was like encountering a shiny version of a legendary Pokemon on your first encounter with them. It's just like, wait, that kind of just complete astonishment and dumbfoundedness of being starstruck, awestruck, all struck, every struck. But that was a very small thing for him to do, was to just smile and wave at us. But that was better than what I was planning on, and it set the tone for the rest of the day. Like, we went to go. They had a theater right down the hall from that said Azumanga Daioh every episode all day. So we went in there and we watched some Azumanga Daioh for like 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours or something. And Amy had seen a couple episodes already, but I had never seen it before, ever. And I was just laughing my head off, dude. My heart was so full of joy at that point. I was having a great time with my wife. Well, it wasn't my wife yet, but this is why I was so happy and having such a good time, because I'm like, I know what this is leading to, and I'm so happy now. And we go out for sushi, and like the whole cast of Overwatch and League of Legends is there cosplaying, just Anime Expo was super fun, dude. And then we go out to watch the fireworks, and LA's fireworks are insane. It was going on for like 90 minutes, and it was like the movie The Sandlot times like 50. It was ridiculous, dude. The smoke wall was like 12 feet tall later that night. But yeah, after those fireworks and after that amazing moment, I go back to the hotel room and propose to my wife. Around midnight, we were very tired beforehand, but getting engaged makes you get a lot of energy. Go figure. You get very excited and pumped up when you get engaged, and the adrenaline that goes through you as you reach into your pocket to start pulling out that black box, and feeling that the bones of your rib cage are made of jello because your heart is pounding against them so heavily. It was, yeah, that was strong even for me, man. I like adrenaline, but whew, that was a lot. And then it multiplied when she said yes, and that was just something else. So I think she was very, very tired, but I think she started just like getting some of my energy at that point, because I was exploding out of me. We ended up going out for some beef bowls at Yoshinoya around midnight, and that's when we saw, like, all those hours later, there's this wall, this ocean of smoke overtaking the valley in the southeast side of LA that is so tall it's going up into the bulbs of the street lamps. But yeah, man, it was an amazing day. But why am I telling you all this? Because I think the crux of why all this happened, and how Final Fantasy XI and anime and video games, kind of like directed my life, not necessarily shaped my life, but directed it in a way to the fact that I ended up proposing at Anime Expo. I don't know, I've just always found it just multiple stages of serendipity that all ended up leading to that. And my wife had some debts on some credit cards, and I didn't want her to have to deal with that. And I ended up selling like a lot of my old like Pokemon cards, video games, and stuff like that, because I'm just like, nah, babe, I don't want you to be stressed out about that kind of things. Look, I got this whole plastic and cardboard that some people think is worth thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Watch this. I'll flip it on eBay in like 2 weeks. Boom. Look, your debt's pretty much knocked the crap out of that, right? Like, I don't mind doing that. Love my wife, bro. Oh, man. I'll do anything for my wife. If I could punch the ocean enough times to somehow evaporate it and knock it out of the atmosphere of the planet, send it sailing into the cosmos, into a place where there's no pressure for hydrogen and oxygen molecules to actually create, fuse together from the pressurization of an atmosphere. If I could do that, and for some reason that would benefit her, I would spend the rest of my life without rest, never sleeping, punching the ocean, fueled only by my passion and my love for my wife. That's how I feel about her. And the lesson that I really want to impart here, though, is that this is something that Ogami taught me, actually, a while ago. It's interesting. We around that time we actually hadn't talked for, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 months or something like that. Um, and the it's actually the day I started this account on YouTube, actually. Like 9 or 10 years ago, I was when I created this account. I remember that I did this on the same day. And Ogami sent me a message on Messenger on Facebook, and he just said, "You should never discount the value of what you have to say, simply because you never know how another person is going to take what you have to say." And I've found that to be very true, honestly. But I think in this case it extends to more than just what you say. It can also be what you do. In this case, Ryo Horikawa smiled and waved at 2 Dragon Ball Z fans. I'm sure he's done that more times than he can count. I'm sure he's done that more times than he screamed into a microphone. So, for him, it's like, "Hey guys." And then he just goes back to what he's doing. But, like, that was the highlight of one of the most important days of my life. And that can also go the other way, cutting someone off in traffic. You don't know what kind of day they're having. You should. I know that sounds really pedantic and stupid, but, like, seriously, very small things can ruin someone's entire day just as much as they can make someone's entire day. And so to loop this back around in Ouroboros of morals, I guess, the converse side of this is that very small things you do can also make someone's day. Be things that people will remember for maybe forever. You don't know. You don't know how important what you have to say or do is going to be to somebody. So don't censor yourself in what you say or in what you do. If you have a desire to do something, do it. As long as you're not thinking about hurting someone or yourself, But don't not do something because you've come up with an excuse to not do it. I did that for most of my life when it comes to swordsmanship. Even though I'm a huge weeb, I never wanted to pick up a katana because I was like, that would be going too far into super mega weeb territory, right? And in the last 5 years and some months, I've realized that, oh man, not only do I really love like swordsmanship training with a katana, particularly, not just katana, but actually to be like to ultra nerd weeb on this, I like tachis best. I think that the tachi is my favorite type of weapon, even though Miyamoto Musashi Sensei, he said not to have a favorite weapon in his Book of Five Rings. I'm sorry, sir. I've trained in many weapons, but I have to admit I do like the tachi. That is a nice weapon, and I have to say is obviously because I don't go cutting people in half with swords. I'm not a freaking psychopath. I'm here to train with weapons for my benefit, for myself. That's about it. Well, and to cut some bushes and plants back and look cool doing it. I do care about that, but that's just for me. Sometimes I share it on here. I'll leave it up for a few months or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I put like swordsmanship stuff on this channel too. But whatever. But it has physically benefited me in like my wrists, the phalanges of my hands right here, uh, the my elbows, my right shoulder has been messed up for like 16 years, man. Um, and it's still a little messed up, but it's a million times better than it used to be. And just wielding a big heavy sword around, and doing katas with it very slowly and methodically, and then going through drills of doing them quickly and learning the muscle memory and all that sort of thing. Like, my wrist used to crack. I used to snap, crackle, and pop like fresh milk dumped Rice Krispies, dude. These days, they're nothing. Like, I'm got like no cracks or pops in my wrist at all right now, and it's been really good for me. And frankly, I wish I would have started it sooner. I wish I didn't self-censor myself and not do the thing I wanted to do because I was afraid of what other people would think about me. Well, other people not thinking that I'm a weeb didn't do anything for my physical health, didn't do anything for my mental well-being. In fact, all it ever did was stress me out and make me repress my actual desires. And now, after doing it for many years, I've seen that I really enjoy doing this, and I've actually received many physical, tangible health benefits from just swinging a sword around because I enjoy it and wanted to do it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point. I'm not trying to lecture people here. I'm just trying to share my life experiences. So, there we go. Thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all, and God bless.